Hi everyone, my name is Joshua Greenwood, and this is for MGT 16 Personal Ethics at Work, the Monday and Wednesday 9:30 a.m. class. The prompt for this assignment is I've read the Code of Conduct of Tesla, and this is what it tells me about the company. After reading through Tesla's Code of Conduct and researching the company a little bit more, I do think that the code tells us a lot about how Tesla wants people to view the company, but I do think it also talks a lot about the pressure that the company faces because of past controversies and the reputation that it wants for the future. The reason that I personally chose Tesla is I think it's probably one of the most talked about companies in the world right now. Whether it's associated with innovation, or electric vehicles, or Elon Musk, or it's on the news, the company um, has a lot of debates about workplace culture. So I thought that Tesla would be interesting to analyze because of the public image that it has. One of the things that I noticed while reading the Code of Conduct was how often Tesla talks about integrity and responsibility. The document says that suppliers are expected to follow laws and avoid corruption, but also provide a safe working condition. Tesla also places a huge emphasis on accountability through supply chains. To me, that says a lot about how important reputation is to Tesla. Since Tesla is always in the spotlight, one major scandal that involves a supplier could instantly blow up and hurt the company's image. So while the code is definitely about ethics, it also does feel like it's trying to protect its own brand. Another huge takeaway for me is its stance on environmental responsibility, which does obviously make sense, considering that Tesla's identity is based around sustainability, and clean energy. The code talks about reducing environmental impact, and following environmental laws and reducing a lot of waste. I think that tells us that Tesla wants sustainability to be connected in every part of its company, not just about cars and clean energy. Because if Tesla's promoting themselves to help the environment, then its suppliers are doing if suppliers are doing unethical things or harming the environment behind the scenes, it would make the company look really, really bad and hypocritical. I also think the labor and worker treatment sections were pretty interesting. Tesla specifically talks about preventing discrimination and harassment, and forced labor, including child labor and unsafe work conditions. They really emphasize a lot more about human rights and workplace safety in the document. Um, Honestly, for me, I think the most interesting part of Tesla's code of conduct was its actual history. Over the years, Tesla has faced a lot of different lawsuits and criticism involved discrimination, and workplace culture and factory issues and things like that. So while the codes sounds very ethical and professional, researching the company made me realize there's sometimes a big gap with what companies say they value and what actually happens in real life. And I don't think the code is necessarily fake. I think major companies probably have goals and values that they generally want to follow. But I do think this assignment showed me that writing ethical policies is a lot easier than actually applying them consistently, especially when your company is massive as Tesla. Another thing I noticed was just how strict Tesla seems to be with their suppliers. The code talks a lot about audits, and transparency with monitoring suppliers, and making sure that they take corrective actions if they violate policies. That's definitely stood out to me because Tesla depends heavily on their supply chains, for different batteries or different materials, such as lithium. Those industries can involve a lot of ethical concerns, I would think, depending on where materials are actually sourced from. So I think Tesla is trying to show people that they take those issues very seriously and want suppliers to match those same company standards. Overall, after reading Tesla's code of conduct, I think Tesla wants people to see how innovative the company is and how responsible they are for sustainability. But I also think that the company's controversies make the code more interesting because it shows the difference between what the company actually says and what happens. Um, so I think the biggest takeaway for me was realizing that business ethics is a lot more complicated than what they actually just write down. But it's about actually following their code off paper and maintaining standards while operating at such a size that Tesla is and under so much public attention. All right, thank you.